This is the General Sherman tree, the largest living structure on the face of the planet. It is absolutely massive and it's a thing of real awesome beauty. Welcome to Sequoia National Park, California. California is experiencing its third straight year of drought. When we were driving down yesterday from San Francisco, we were struck by just how barren and parched the landscape looked. I was wondering what the hell we were doing here. But as we've driven up into Sequoia National Park, that aridity has given the landscape a look that is going to be quite challenging, quite photographically. But having been here a day, I can see it has its own strange attraction. Arrived yesterday, got out yesterday afternoon for the first shoot, and we're just starting to get a feel for the potential of this incredibly beautiful national park. Came here this morning and made a start on photographing these immense trees. Now the sun's starting to come through and contrast is becoming a real problem. So this is called Hanging Rock because of that rocking, I take it. I'm loving the big, epic, sweeping view and the receding plains of the mountains and hills going off to the west there. As the sun drops down over there, that should be accentuated. Doing a shot here with this lovely grass and these twisted branches in the foreground as interest. No cloud, not a cloud in the sky, and I don't expect there to be any. A lot of haze as well, but I'll do my best. The thing about Sequoia is the range in height in the park. Down in the valley, at its lowest, about 500 meters above sea level. At its highest, some of the highest peaks in mainland USA, up to almost 5,000 meters.
So as it's coming to dusk now, and there's these very subtle tones in those mountains, if I use my Happy Snapper camera, David, it all becomes burnt out. So how do you shoot it to prevent that happening?
Well, you can't fight the haze. But that haze is what gives the receding plains their interest in the first place. So I'm shooting this way with side lighting at the moment, God, the flies.
That Australia, isn't it?
Yeah. But, and I've got this great shape of this rock in the foreground here. When the sun gets just as it's setting, I'm going to swivel round and shoot that way. But yeah, it's a problem, the haze, without a doubt.
Make sure he doesn't fall off the bloody edge.
There's a viewpoint over there, Morrow Rock, which everyone goes to watch sunset. But I'm really glad with how it's worked here. There's some great foreground interest, the vegetation here that I've been using on the right of my frame, really picking up the last of that light, really golden, beautiful, beautiful. And good shapes with the rocks there, really dramatic shapes. So only our second day here, and I'm well pleased. That was a really good session, and one that really leaves me marvelling at what we've just seen. Just beautiful.
And we saw it with nobody else around.
Yeah.
How lucky were we?
We've had this all to ourselves.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Beautiful. You can't see it, but I can, believe me.
Yeah, it drops about 2,000 metres down to our left here. Just epic, isn't it? Well, it's dawn and we're just hiking, starting to walk through the woods here, and there's a bear just over there, but it's a black bear and he doesn't seem very interested in us, so we're just keeping our distance, but he's obviously used to people because he's totally disinterested in us.
Used to people, isn't he?
So we're just gonna carry on walking down here. We've got just a couple of hours before the sun comes up and the contrast in the forest just gets too high. So we need to get in position and use this time when the lighting's right for photographing the big trees. This is just such a beautiful time to be in the woods. You've got the noise of the woodpeckers, a wonderful calm, very few people about. And I'm using this perfect flat lighting to photograph this grove of the big trees behind me. Quite long exposures, 20 seconds. So I'm using a polarizer, which really kind of brings out some of the colours of the reds and the greens there. Just when I was shooting this, another bear came out right on the path in front of me. He's just above us up here now. Great stuff. Photographing these huge trees is quite difficult to show their scale. If I show with a super wide angle lens their immense height, they're just kind of lost in the woods. And also there's huge contrast problems. So I've been using my 70-200 and going in quite tight and showing just the width of their immense trunks. And of course the wonderful textures and tones in the bark. Great fun. We've had a wonderful morning in the forest. What a tree. It's the president tree, and it's beautiful. I'm touching something here that is about 2,000 years old. Yesterday I said about the Sherman tree being the oldest, the biggest living thing on the planet. That's a bit debatable depending on whether you rate the barrier reef or some giant fungus as bigger as a living being. Nevertheless, huge, tremendously impressive. Deer just up there. This is Morrow Rock. Quite a view up here. A lot of haze, but what a view. Beautiful. You can see for miles, and it really gives you an impression of the scale of the Sierra Nevadas. Haze is a problem, a bit worse than yesterday, but we're going to hang around here until the sun goes down over there and shoot that with the receding plains of the mountains. And then we're going to shift over to where we were last night to do a night sky shoot with the Milky Way over Sequoia National Park, hopefully. Come to do our night shot, and this is where we're going to do it, and I reckon probably about an hour until the stars come out and there's no twilight left in the sky. And but I've got enough light now to be able to set up and compose and focus, which makes things much easier, so I'm going to get on with that.